Okay, I'm at Department of Social and Health Services on 1949 South State Street, and this is where I used to work at. And I just wanted to make another part to my Whitie Town documentary. Just kind of go into a little background about DSHS and how I came to be unlawfully terminated. When I sit here, it kind of brings back memories about when I first started to work for DSHS. I had just left University of Washington Milgard School of Business, and I was receiving an unemployment check, and I was struggling, having a hard time making it after what UWT did to me, which that's another blog I'll go into on a later date. So I had to go bankrupt, and I had to end up on welfare, and I went and applied for some food stamps, and I just asked the lady who was taking my application, were they hiring for any positions? And she said, let me look it up. So she went into her email and she pulled up a position for me. And that was at the Region 5 Customer Service Call Center. And, I took the information and I was very grateful. And I went home, I filled out an application and turned it in. It took maybe 6 months or so before I even got a call. And I did put her down as a recommendation. So I, wanted to give people that tip that putting people's names is what gets you into Department of Social and Health Services. The whole place is actually nepotism, favoritism. It's all about sexual favors, people, relatives, couples, married couples, all living or housed in this building. Family. It's a family organization. So you can walk through these office buildings and you will find husbands and wives working here. You will find daughters and sons and children and cousins and all kinds of people that they hook up with state jobs. And that's what I realized when I got in, that they must have thought that I was related to that woman or something. That's how God slipped me in the door. And that most of the people that get hired, I would see it because I worked in the human resources for the administration department, and I did a lot of the hiring and handling of the human resources information. And what I saw time and time again was it was all who you know is how you get in here. And everybody knows someone or, get someone the job. And it's all favoritism, and it's not right at all, okay? But it still goes on, and nothing's being done about it. And I remember when I first got there, we had a manager or the regional administrator who got fired. Her name was Linda Evans, and she had gotten in trouble for a lot of illegal things that she was doing, using state property for personal religious reasons for her church and all this stuff. So, she was giving people jobs, based on favoritism, and a real big stink went down about it. And it was supposed to have ended, but it never did. It was just, a little something washed under the rug, and then it just continued when they hired the regional manager, Vicki Nelson, who was my boss. And she was hired after I was hired. And I was actually hired by Mike Sourman, who was the deputy administrator. And she pushed him out. From what I gathered, he got pushed out. And I guess he left and got a large amount of money from his father passing away. And so they hired George Gorshey to replace him. But when I first got hired, it was Mike Sourman, and I, was grateful to him. But when I saw my boss Vicki showed up, I could just kind of tell the look on her face when she saw that I was African American, and I kind of sensed I would have some troubles. And later I found out about her management style and that she was uneducated. She had no college degree. not even an associate's. And she had been placed over in our office prior to the second time she was placed. So before I was hired, I guess apparently she was put over there on some kind of temporary assignment to be the regional, I'm not regional, but director of the call center. And what happened was she failed, and she didn't do a good job back then either. And that's when they moved her over to region, which is over here across the street. I don't know if you can see it. Let me do my windshield wipers. But it's this building over here. And that's where she came from. And so she, they gave her another chance, I guess, because after Linda failed, and then there was a guy before her, Mike's, I can't remember what his name was, and he got fired as well. So that was 2 lawsuits from 2 minorities already in that office that were, coming, piling up. And DSHS has several lawsuits. They always do, because of the incompetency of the staff and the laziness, which I was firsthand a witness to. And I'm not saying everybody was that way, but a lot of people are. And so anyways, once I was hired, and I worked there, and they wanted to close down the call center, and we worked hard all together as a team to get them to open up a new agency, which was called the Lakewood Community Service Office. And that was the office that I, was part of the redesign, and I helped get started off the ground from startup. I ordered most of the furniture and all of the equipment and things that we needed, and I helped work with facilitating the moves of the staff. And it was a huge project. Whenever you start an agency from the bottom, it takes a lot of work, and I have that experience under my belt. Hasn't done me much, because I've been blacklisted by Department of Social and Health Services. Anyways, I gotta cut this short. Just gonna be a little blog today, because I have to go pick my mom up. She's getting some x-rays done on her knee down here at St. Joseph, which is a mess. The parking is a nightmare, and they built all these buildings around, but they haven't done any surveys as far as where the people are supposed to park. And so anyways, I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what happened, how it happened. This is just part 2 of my DSHS Whitie Town part of my documentary, which I will later go into how I was discriminated, retaliated against. I was working in a hostile work environment that discriminates against people because of their Christians, because of their race, because of their disabilities. And I later filed a $2 million lawsuit against DSHS for unlawfully terminating me, for pregnancy discrimination, for disability discrimination, racial discrimination. I can go on. There's so many charges. And just to, tell you a little bit about that is, Judge McKenna, not Judge McKenna, but what's his name? Rob McKenna, Ready Rob, I call him, because he'll rob the state if we ever hire him as a governor. Because I had a first account of this man and in action, and how he destroys single mothers' lives, how he tears down people with disabilities, how he is no advocate of women. And I got to, find out firsthand. Oh, are you going to go, lady? Go ahead. Okay. And he is brutal. Believe me, he has no mercy. He will take out anyone. He doesn't care who's in his path to get into the mansion. He'll cut out minimum wage, a 12-cent raise just to give himself a $148,000 salary. I could go on and on about him, but him and Judge Murphy were in cahoots together, and I think that he was bribed to drop my case and dismiss it, and that's how that went. And my attorney, who was the Thaddeus Martin over in Lakewood, he filed my case, and then he got a big plush office shortly after he took my case, and then he dropped me. So I know he was bribed and paid off too, and it's real difficult to sue the state of Washington. Believe me. It is nothing but a nightmare. And by experience, I had 3 or 4 attorneys that all quit on me out of fear. And so anyways, they basically, they would prefer me to be on welfare and to be on the system and not work and help clients and to push me out of that agency than to have me work. And I had my doctor's notes. I had I have all of my absences were excused by my doctor. And yet they still fired me. And even though my boss was sick herself and missed plenty of time having her hysterectomy and her elephant diseases and all the problems she had with her health, yet she still came back after her sick leave and then fired me. I mean, that's the way they do it there. They want to get you out of there because they don't want people helping the clients. And I can even recall one time, it was a sad situation when I was on the phone. And I was just at my desk and I was, helping clients because I handled client complaints. And I could overhear one of the financial service specialists talking, because our cubicles are real close. And she had a woman who, she was working with, trying to help her with her benefits. And I could hear her, her voice was slowly elevating and she was getting a little hostile. And she was kind of threatening the woman. She was going to hang up on her and all this. And I was trying to figure out exactly what was going on. And from what I could hear was that the woman was on the phone and her baby was crying in the background. And she told the woman that if she didn't make the baby stop crying, that she was going to end the phone call. And it was just really sad to see that, because some babies cry because they don't have food and they don't have their milk, and that we supply the food stamps so they can purchase this stuff. And to tell a mom that her baby has to, be quiet or whatever, and she couldn't just hurry up and work through the call and try to just, have a little patience for kids. She would instead not let this woman have her benefits and just totally cut her off back into the red tape, because once you get a hold of a worker, it's like a miracle, really, because they never answer their phones. They don't call people. I've seen it. I mean, I've had to really work hard to get people to call people, and it was really a challenge that I managed to do very well, and I was skillful at. Because you have to put the fear of God in them or they won't do it. So that's another skill I learned from working there. So anyways, it was just sad to see that. And I noticed that a lot of it was just against the clients and stuff like that. And then one time we had some orientations, and we had, made it mandatory for them to be there. And then there was a woman who just had a newborn, and the doctor told her, the baby shouldn't be out, and they wanted to force her anyway. And it was just stuff like that. It was, to me, total abuse of clients' rights. And I, reported that, but nothing ever gets done. And, you can't, when you're a whistleblower on the inside, they make it really hard for you. So I'm going to go over here and see if my mom's done over to this outpatient part. And you can see all this construction and stuff they're building. And I wonder, do they even do valuations on the traffic flow through here, and where is everyone supposed to park? But, they probably don't do that. Oh, there she is. Oh, shoot, I missed the turn. Shit. I was supposed to turn in there, but I missed it. So I either turn around or oh, here she comes. She can make it. My mom has a hard time walking. She's got a really bad knee. So I'm going to cut this vlog short because she's back. And this is, part of the Whitie Town documentary that I'm making. That was fast. Did you have to wait long?
No.
Okay.
Pain.
You need me to pull up a little bit
Wait
more?
a moment, there's something laying there. I don't know what it is.
You want me to pull up a little bit
No,
more?
I think I can. It was hurting so bad. That knees myself. It's done. Finished. It twisted me around.
I'm sorry, man. They twisted you something bad in the x-rays, huh? And it probably hurts worse, huh?
Yeah. It's okay. So what we do now, get the pills?